Now I would like to have a chat with Henning about controller redundancy. Henning, what is this and why do I need it?
So this is a new product for Beckhoff. The TwinCAT controller redundancy, or all redundancy products, are about reliability. So increasing the reliability of a plant, of a manufacturing machine or whatever. Either doing that on communication level, so by having two cables next to each other or distributed from each other, or in this case, we are putting two controllers next to each other, executing the same PLC program in the same time environment for having them synchronized, so one could fail, the other could take over.
Okay. So one controller is dead, machine is still running. This sounds like a very, very nice advantage, especially if I think about processes where you have some very, very expensive things which you are manufacturing, where you have big tanks, for example, with some liquids inside. But what do I need for this besides a second PC?
Yeah, that's a real important point for the TwinCAT controller redundancy. It's pure software development. So we are taking usual Beckhoff components like our IPCs, of course two of them obviously, otherwise it's not a redundancy solution. We put below of that, we put two CU2508, which are doing the communication to the field level on the one side, and the synchronization of the timings between both IPC on the other side. So we have two synchronization lanes between the IPCs. The one is the direct connection by Ethernet, which is, again, not a special redundancy module or something like that. It's a usual Ethernet cable. And then we have the EtherCAT communication between the CU2508 for synchronizing the time.
If I understand you correctly, the clue is really we have a standard PC, standard port multipliers and standard cables, and then just a software edition, and then we have the controller redundancy.
Yes.
And if I now would like to know what's happening in my machine, so how high the boards are flying, how my IOs are doing, how can I diagnose, how can I interact with the two controller system then?
There are two aspects we need to talk about. The first one is the communication to the diagnostics interface.
Okay.
So of course, if one controller fails, you would like to get informed about that. So you could replace the controller or at least have a look what's going on in your plant. On the other hand, you have the communication from the HMI system for gathering the actual process values, so the height of the balls in the current state or something like that. For the HMI communication to the process values, we developed in our ADS protocol, which we are using all over TwinCAT, a transparent communication. So the HMI system or any MES or SCADA system in the top of the redundancy controllers is able to talk to the active controllers. So one of these participants here is always the active one, the one which is controlling actually the field, here indicated as a green one. And then the HMI would gather the process values, of course, from the active system, while the other one is still monitoring the active participant.
Okay, so a lot of comfort for the user in terms of interacting with the system, standard hardware, just in addition to software functionality.